So good evening, everyone, and welcome. For those who don't know me, I'm Dave Vitito. I'm the new Senior Director of Alumni Relations at NEOMED. And we're here this evening to introduce a new program and to honor the service of one of our own. For those who don't know, this November marks 50 years since the founding or charter of NEOMED, which of course was established as NEO-UCOM. In fact, the exact date this year falls on Thanksgiving, November 23rd, so we all have a lot to be thankful for. But with this 50-year milestone, we'll only continue to celebrate more milestones as the university builds on its legacy of creating transformational leaders across all of its programs. And in time, we will have more and more beloved faculty members, deans, and administrators close their own chapters at NEOMED and begin new ones as retired or semi-retired members of our community. So we saw an opportunity to introduce this concept of the last lecture. And tonight, we honor and celebrate the service and impact of Dr. Richard Kasmer, our recent past dean of the College of Pharmacy, who officially retires from that role on September 30th in 2 days. This platform tonight simply offers Dr. Kasmer a chance to give his reflections on his many years at NEOMED, and all of you a chance to share your thank yous with him. Before I introduce and turn things over to Dr. Kasmer, I want to remind everyone to please remain muted until the end of the brief presentation, at which time we'll open things up for questions and comments. If you have a question as we go, feel free and drop it in the chat feature, and I will get to as many of those at the end of the program as possible. And finally, we are recording this event to share with those who were unable to make it tonight and be present. So be on your best behavior and watch the questions, watch the comments tonight. With that, it's my honor to introduce Dr. Richard Kasmer, who has 30 plus years of diversified clinical development, operations, and leadership experience. A strategic-minded leader with a documented history of building teams and programs to accomplish short and long-term goals and objectives. He has been at NEOMED since 2006, essentially the inception of the College of Pharmacy. He is a 1981 graduate from the Creighton University College of Pharmacy and a 1992 graduate of Cleveland State University's Marshall College of Law. His list of awards and achievements are extensive and feature titles like Teacher of the Year, Presidential Service Award, and Master Teacher, to name a few. Please welcome in Dr. Kasmer. Dr. Kasmer, the floor is yours. I'll turn things over to you, and I'll hit mute.
Thank you, Dave. So good evening to my colleagues, friends, faculty, staff, and alumni. Thank you for all taking some of your time out of your personal lives to attend my final lecture. It sounds kind of final to me, but it is what it is. And thank you, Dave, for giving me the opportunity to do this. Actually, when Dave originally approached me, I was a bit surprised that actually he did, and actually originally a bit hesitant to do so. When I asked him what were the guidelines I had to follow, he said, well, there really aren't none. You get to make this up. And I said, this is absolutely perfect for me. So what I did is I prepared a set of slides, which kind of help you guide you through the path from 2006 to the present. So if you allow me, Dave, I'll share the slides that I've created. Can people see the slides? Looks like yes.
Yes.
Very good. So I thought I'd start off the lecture with what I would call a couple of pharmacy fun facts. And the question is over the last 17 years, what have we actually accomplished? At the end of the day, when I kind of did my analysis, this is what I come up with. We've matriculated now 16 classes into the college. Over 1,300 students have been enrolled. We've graduated 13 classes. As of today, we now have 950 alumni. And I've been watching it and calculating it for a year. Is actually next year, 2024, we will cross 1,000 alumni in the college, which I think is pretty great. We've had many students complete the program and actually pursue residencies. About 240 pursue PGY1s. Another 65 pursue PGY2s. Actually, today, as a result, we now have an additional 115 that are actually preceptors have come back to the college to give back to the college for what they've, in terms of precepting our students. So I think we've accomplished quite a few great things. In terms of reflecting what I've done here in the college, in the early days, I spent a great deal of time actually in the classroom. And it's where actually I was needed when the college was begun. I was not clinical. I was not a basic scientist. So at the end of the day, I earned my keep in the podium. And for the first 2 or 3 years when we had actually students enrolled, I taught all the courses you see here. And in some of those years, I spent probably close to 240 hours in the podium. So actually quite a task, to say the very least. When I took some time to reflect on the numerous positions that I've had in the college, there's been many over the years. And this is kind of the list that I created. And it's extensive. As a matter of fact, when I got done creating this slide, I was kind of surprised at all the things that I've done. Instructor, professor, executive associate dean, interim dean, associate dean for academic affairs, and an interim assistant provost. Believe it or not, interim chair in pharmaceutical sciences. I still scratch my head on that one. Vice dean, dean, vice president of academic affairs, president of the Neovations Pharmacy Services, and board member for the NEOMED Research Incorporation, and yet one more to come. At the dean's reception in May 2023, I shared this with the new grads who are about to leave the university, and I told them I think it indicates one of three things to me. Number one, either I can't hold a single job for any period of time. Number two, I'm really good at feeling upwards. Or number three, I pursued opportunities when they occurred and rose the occasion to support the college when it was needed. So I'm just going to say of those three, I think I'll stick with number three at the end of the day. This is a couple of photos I copied over the years just so I could share this with you. You can see there's just a little bit difference between the beginning and the end. Top left is actually a photo of mine in 1982. I graduated in 81. This came off of my renewal license for when I was a pharmacist. Top right, that would be myself as a faculty member in 06. Bottom left is probably a stock photo from 2015. And bottom right, this is actually the white coat ceremony last year. The only thing I'll say about these photos is I'll just say, look at the hair. Okay. I have to say it was a little bit darker back in 82. There was more of it, a little bit longer. You can't really see the sideburns, but trust me, they're there. I'll just say, hopefully I've aged well, but I'll leave that up to you. But I thought I'd just share that with you for what you could see what happened over time. I've seen a lot of changes in the campus over the years, and this is kind of some of the things that we have seen over time. The College of Pharmacy was originally an idea in 2005, and the College of Pharmacy, the concept was originally led by Dr. Nora, who I see is on the attendee list tonight. And this is when it was launched in 2005, and this is pretty close, not the original building that when I arrived, but pretty close. The original founding dean at that point in time was David Allen, and he was my founding dean. And the campus at that point in time was pretty basic. But since then, we've seen a lot of improvements over time. In 2006, there really was no pharmaceutics lab. It was in the process of being created, but when it was completed, it was actually a state-of-the-art lab. Since then, we've done quite a few improvements over time. About 2016, we did about $100,000 worth of improvement. This past summer, we did another 150, and it still is a state-of-the-art facility, to say the very least. Quite a few years ago, Jay Gershon, who was our president at the time, was really big into building things. He put in a research and graduate education building, which you see here. State-of-the-art facility, and actually the Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences has the entire 4th floor. They do a lot of great work back there. Originally in 2006, NEOMED really was a commuter campus, and it wasn't until we built the village at NEOMED that we actually had campus life, to say the very least. Today we have 3 buildings. We have about 350 beds. There's discussions about a 4th building appearing, but we'll see what happens with time. The new center was created and put actually a new public face on the front of the university for our community, and actually provided many new amenities for our students when they are on campus. As you can see here, we actually have a conference center on the 2nd floor, more like a student union on the 1st floor, a bistro, a coffee shop, a health club, some swimming pools, and actually there's been quite a few changes. So Becky Corsi, I can see you're here tonight. You probably have never seen any of these things, but actually if you were to come to campus, you would not believe where we started versus where we are today. Last piece of the puzzle is in the last couple of years, we put on a medical office building. And actually a lot of nifty things have occurred in the medical office building. We now have on campus Summa Health. We have Neovations Pharmacy Services. We have NEOMED Health. The Wasson Center was recently moved and put into this location. It is clearly a brand new facility, which is all state-of-the-art activity. One of our primary goals in the College of Pharmacy has always been student success. And I think, honestly, we've clearly accomplished that. When I took some time to reflect upon what our students have done, this is kind of what I've come up with. When I looked over the last block of years of our students, we've had a lot of students do some great work. Upon graduation, they take their NAPLEX, and how we monitor our success is a first-time pass rate from our NAPLEX exam. Class of 2012 had a 100% pass rate. 13 had a 100% pass rate. When I looked at the classes of 11 through 16, we had that entire block of classes had a 95% pass rate or greater. Curiously enough, class of 2016 was the 4th highest in the nation. 18 was 6th highest in the nation. When I look at what we've accomplished here in the state of Ohio, we've clearly been one of the top performing schools of pharmacy. There's no doubt that our student success has been clearly present. The primary journal for the Pharmacy Academy is called the American Journal of Pharmaceutical Education. And an article was published in about 2020 that ranked colleges of pharmacy based on NAPLEX first-time pass rates. What they did was really interesting. They looked at colleges and did a 3-year block trying to see how schools ranked amongst themselves. Because in any one year, you can do great versus poor. So they did a couple of year period of time. And what I think is very amazing in this next slide, you can see kind of where NEOMED was ranked. Out of the 130 colleges that were up in operation at the time, we were ranked 12th, which out of the 130 colleges puts us up in the top 10% ranking. There's also a second article, which is independently published in AJHP, which demonstrates a similar result. I just didn't provide it here today. I think what this is indicative to me of is several things. One is the college has a solid curriculum. The faculty are dedicated and deliver it in a solid fashion. And our students master the material, and through our NAPLEX exam simply demonstrate what they've learned over time. But I think to have a college which in essence is a top 10% ranking, I think it's something we all should be very proud of. We've seen many changes in the colleges, and one of the things I'm really pleased and proud of is our new research focus area. In approximately 2013, the College of Pharmacy and the Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences established a new research focus area. It's neurodegenerative disease and aging. It really focuses primarily on a couple of things. It focuses on Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, and glaucoma. And the director of our RFA is actually Sheila Fleming, and Sheila clearly is a rock star. She clearly leads by example in this research focus area. Over the last couple of years, Sheila has brought in a $2 million DoD grant, an initial NIH grant of about 1.5, a second NIH grant of about 1.5. So Sheila alone has brought in about $5 million of research to the College of Pharmacy. Clearly, she's leading by example. There clearly are others in the college who have done a great deal of work too. Aaron Reed Gagan brought in a $1.5 million grant, and the list can go on and on and on. Jakar Kazimov brings in a lot of grants. Sam and Christine were recently successful. Moses Oyumi, who's a department chair, and Matt Smith also contribute to the effort. So I'm very pleased with what our RFA has actually done. It's interesting to see it come from an idea and then begin to mature into a significant entity. And this group has much more great things yet to come. So my comment to the department is to keep up the great work, Sheila and team. Several years ago, the College of Pharmacy was looking to diversify our revenue stream, so we actually formed our own consulting company. We created and launched NEOMED Pharmacy Services, and that occurred just a few years ago. Oops. Although I've been an active part of it since its very beginning, the future leadership really belongs to two individuals. One is Kunal Amin, and second is Kevin Fischetto. Kunal Amin today is the president of NEOMED Pharmacy Services. Because of his dedication and service to the company and great work he's done, he also has become the chief operating officer for NEOMED Healthcare. Kevin Fischetto, who's also his partner there, is also his vice president of NEOMED Pharmacy Services and director of operations. Both of these individuals will continue to grow the company well into the future. However, the secret to our success in NEOMED Pharmacy Services is actually our students. We actually have developed in the MOB, the medical office building, 2 telehealth rooms, which actually they do a lot of work out of. And this is all run by student power. They do university immunizations, they do travel immunizations, we do continuing education, and many consulting contracts with a lot of our local partners. Last fiscal year, this small group of individuals actually crossed the $500,000 mark in revenue with actually a lot of profit that dropped to the bottom line for the College of Pharmacy. So I have to say, I'm very pleased to see the success of this group, and I guarantee you they'll continue to do more into the future. Philanthropy is an important part of the college and university. Donations from alumni and others support a lot of university initiatives. Being a newer school, this is an area that we are lacking in, so I launched and actually developed the Future Pharmacist Fund. And so many people have seen that advertised over the last couple of years, and it's an important piece of the puzzle for the College of Pharmacy. Oops. This was established in 2021. These are scholarships primarily for third and fourth year students. In order to do this and do it well, you have to get behind it. So the Kasmer family made an initial donation of $25,000 to launch the scholarship fund. And over the past couple of years, its current value is about $120,000, and I think it will continue to grow over time. And I want all alumni to consider writing a check on an annual basis to the Future Pharmacist Fund. I do it clearly from my alma mater, Creighton University. And these funds will come directly to the College of Pharmacy and support our student scholarships. So please support our future pharmacists. After I leave the College of Pharmacy, actually tomorrow at 5 p.m., because I guarantee I'm taking Saturday off, I feel that the college is actually going to be in great hands. The new interim dean is going to be Catherine Tromp. She's been with the college for about 3 years, and she'll step into the interim dean role on a full-time basis starting next week. Seth Brownlee will continue to be there and support her in his role, and Seth is now a senior associate dean for program quality and student success. We have a couple of great department chairs, and both have been long-term faculty with us for quite a few years. Moses Oyumi is a chair of pharmaceutical sciences. Mate Sorek is a chair of pharmacy practice. I'll get this right sooner or later. We have quite a few good people who are in our support offices. Primarily, Lucas Everly is in experiential education, and Jackie Boyle is in our assistant dean of Office of Student Success. I believe that we have a solid team in place that can guide the college well into the future. Now, the most common question that I had of late is, so what are my plans for the future? And actually, that's been kind of really interesting to think about. And actually, you'll see in the next couple of slides what that looks like. So for me, on a go-forward basis, I have to tell you, it really is, it's all about family. Many people have met and know my wife, Lisa, son, Jeremy, and daughter, Lindsay. And actually, we are a tight unit that do many things together. Lindsay lives in Syracuse, which is about 5.5 hours in one direction. Jeremy now is in Louisville, which is about 4.5 hours south of us. And actually, we're in the perfect location because we're equidistant from both. We will be adding a 5th member to the family come next year because Lindsay just got engaged about a week or so ago. So we're very pleased about that. Many people know that I travel and camp frequently, and this is actually how it's done today. This is not a canvas tent. This is not an air mattress that you throw on the ground and you wake up with a sore back the next morning. It's more glamping than camping, but actually I'm pretty pleased with that, and this is how I want life to go on a go-forward basis. So my future plans is more travel and more trips. I promised my wife I will try to relax and golf more, and these are some golf photos from recent events. I'm not saying I'll get any better, but I'm just going to say I'll try and do better. So that's what I will do in terms of golfing. To the parents in the audience tonight, beware of your children when they buy a house. Why I say that is when your daughter says, "Hey, Dad, can you help me with a shed?" And when the 18-wheeler pulls up to her driveway and drops off the 1,000-pound kit, just beware. That took 3 months and 3 builds and rebuilds and builds and rebuilds to get it done, but it finally got done. And when she also says, "Hey, Dad, can you help me with a few electrical outlets?" At the end of the game, it was about 60 of them. And so this is most of them, but not all of them. So be careful of your children when they buy a house. Many people know I have a lot of activities outside. So every summer for me, it's a lot of fishing, walleye in Erie, salmon in Ontario. Thousand Islands, we go a lot of fishing as well as the Adirondacks. So I love to go out and get in a boat and cast a line and get it wet. Every fall, I just love fall because it's my favorite time of the year. And so for the alumni in the audience, we'll see how good your memory is over the years. Just type in the chat my favorite color, and we'll see if you get it correct. For me, there's no better day than I can wake up and see sunrise from my tree stand, and I love taking a lot of trips doing a lot of things. So come winter, one of the things we've done in days gone by is we've done a lot of snowmobiling. And in a couple of cases, this is what you see here. We've been to Yellowstone National Park. I went originally with a couple of buddies, and a couple of years later, my wife said I wanted to go too, so I went a second time. So let me just tell you, it's cold, but it's a lot of fun, and you get to see a lot of great things when you go to places like Yellowstone. My favorite photo is the one you see here. Is that on one of my initial trips, we went up and made it up to the Continental Divide and paused for a moment to take a photo next to the sign. We weren't supposed to do that, but we did, and I think they were happy to see us leave Yellowstone after that. So the question is here's the real plan on a go-forward basis. So what do I do next? Although I'm leaving tomorrow at 5 p.m., actually I come back in January, and I'm going to be the special assistant to the dean of the College of Dentistry. Starting a new college is a unique activity, and it takes a lot of individuals who understand the right things to do in the right order. We have a ton of accreditation work to do. State of Ohio Learning Commission, the Commission on Dental Accreditation, there's no shortage of activity. So I'll be working 1 day a week. That should be just enough to get me out of the house. I'm going to be doing some voluntary work for NEOMED Pharmacy Services. I'm not quite fully certified to do immunizations, but I will be next week. I'm going to go back into the classroom to do some voluntary teaching. I'll be attending alumni events and continuing with ACPE to do some accreditation visits, which I've been doing for the last 12 years. In closing, at the Dean's reception in May of 2023, I shared the following words of wisdom with the upcoming grads. And the question is so what have I learned after 42 years in the profession of pharmacy? And these are my top 4 pieces of advice. One is say yes to opportunities. I have done plenty of that at NEOMED. It seems like every 1 or 2 years I've had a new adventure, and it's definitely expanded my horizons and skill set. And actually, you should do that too. Don't be scared to say yes, just move forward and do it. Explore opportunities that are outside of your comfort zone. I couldn't believe years ago when Dr. Taylor asked me to become the interim chair of pharmaceutical sciences. I'm a pharmacist. I'm a lawyer. Charles, what do I know about being a basic scientist? And the answer is not much. I thought he was a little bit off base, but I have to tell you, I learned a ton by doing that opportunity. I learned to speak a new language. It's called basic science. And actually it served me well when I later became the dean of the College of Pharmacy. 3, I would say embrace change. Never be satisfied with the status quo. Discover, learn from it, and grow to achieve your full potential as a professional. And lastly, stay in touch with your college, your faculty, and fellow alumni. It's really a small world, which everybody knows everybody else. I think, Dave, if my timing is right, that's it. Let me just pause here after 20 minutes and open up the floor to questions.
Thank you, Dr. Kasmer. That was fantastic. And yes, now is the time to unmute and weigh in with any questions, any comments you'd like to share. I would like to point out, Dr. Kasmer, I believe your new boss is in attendance, the dean of the College of Pharm.D College of Dentistry, Dr. Beck, is with us tonight. But again, thank you for your reflections and sharing your future plans. That was fantastic.
And before we proceed, let me just say the correct answer was camo. That's my favorite color.
People got that. Yep. We had a mossy oak, we had orange, but most got camo. So you're good.
I can accept blaze orange. I understand that one.
All right. Who would like to be first? Any questions or comments?
So Dr. Kasmer, it's Becky Corsi. I'll be first. I just want to say thank you. I started pharmacy school late, and we were on the bleeding edge, right, of setting up the pharmacy school with our class. And I have such fond memories that I have built a life on, even after I had a life, starting late in school. And a lot of that is the memories of the interactions that you and I had and the classes that we had with you and all of the side work that we did in the committees to try and help set up the pharmacy school. And I put orange for two reasons. So one is you always wear orange with camo because I know you follow the rules. And second, because I'm wondering if you still have your orange jumpsuit that you used to wear to class for our law class. So, those kind of memories are what I reflect on. And when I'm talking to students or talking to people about pharmacy, I have such a fond and strong foundation because of the work that you did as a leader in our school. So I just wanted to say thank you and let you know how much you mean to me. And I can see you in your camper. I just want to let you know we have great fishing down here in Florida. So you're always welcome to come down and visit. And, just please enjoy yourself. You have done so much for so many people just from what I'm aware of. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Becky. You're very kind. And I also distinctly remember you as a student. You're the first pharmacy student I remember was on the board of trustees. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you for your kind comments.
You're
And
welcome.
be careful if I see a camper pull up your driveway.
I have room. We'll come on down. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll ask you, Dr. Kasmer, as a new staff member here at NEOMED, I know you're going to stick around a little bit, kind of a 1 day a week a role. But what advice do you have for people who are just starting at the institution? What advice can you give us to maybe make as big of an impact as you've made possibly?
I think I kind of summarize it in my words of wisdom. I would say yes, get involved as much as you can. It's a smaller world than you think, whether it's pharmacy or the university. Don't stay in the position you're in. Continue to say yes and get involved in it as much as you can. I think it's how you are successful at the end of the day.
Great. Any other questions or comments? I believe you have a family member on this.
Actually, I have two.
Yeah, I don't want to call anybody out, but
and I didn't pay them to attend. They did it all on their own. But if I can, I do see one name I do want to make an introduction to. Dr. Beck, I can see that you're here. So Dr. Beck, if you could let your video loose.
There he is.
There he is. Dr. Beck is going to be the new Dean of the College of Dentistry. So Frank, congratulations and welcome. A lot of hard work in the future to come, and I look forward to working with you starting in January.
Yeah, I think you're on mute. There you go. Okay.
Well, my cat was having a little problem. Sorry about that. I just sent a little note. Congratulations, Rick. And Dave, I think the more accurate description would be that Rick's next job is mentoring the Dean of the Botanic College of Dentistry and carrying us across the finish line. And Rick, you are a true mentor and boss. And thank you.
Thanks, Frank.
That's great. Have a comment in the chat feature. Congratulations, well deserved. You were definitely a favorite of the class of 2013.
Thanks, Sam.
Another comment. Congratulations, Dr. Kasmer. Thanks so much for all of your wisdom, advice, and teachings over the years. Couldn't have passed the law exam without you. From Eric and Ashley.
Yeah, it's interesting. And thank you, Eric. It's a great comment. Even today, believe it or not, about once a month, I get a note from a student about a law question. And I consider that as a teacher to probably be one of the highest praises you can get. If years later, 10 years later, I get a note from a student, it's something I definitely pay attention to and I respond to. Now, those who've been in the classroom from me will know when it's me, because my response will be is similar to the extent of, thanks for the question. I really appreciate it. Obviously, you're asleep in class when we talked about this. Here's the one slide that will answer your question. So keep the questions coming. I truly do enjoy them.
Just a couple more comments coming in. Congratulations and good luck in the next chapter of life. Thank you for all that you've done for us. Congratulations and thank you for everything. So people are weighing in the chat feature. It's like class. They don't want to be called on in class, but they're happy to weigh in the chat feature and share their sentiments and all good things. And Dr. Kasmer, maybe that wraps things up tonight. I wanted to thank you as well. Again, I started here in alumni relations back in March, and I think immediately you showed tremendous kindness to me and really showed me the ropes of NEOMED. And I just tried to be a sponge around you and everyone here in many respects. But I really appreciate all that you've done for me in a short period of time. And I'm not surprised at all at the impact that you've made on your students over the years.
Well, thank you, David. Greatly appreciated.
Yep.
I can see several here. Thank you, Kristen. Lauren, I can see your thank you also. I hope things are going well in Michigan for you. Cassie, I think you're still down in the Cincinnati area. Gina, I know you're local, but thank you all.
And Dr. Rajiv Lapazia is our president of the Alumni Association, a med grad. Wanted to be part of this tonight. He weighed in and thanks you on behalf of the entire Alumni Association. Thank you for your contributions.
Thank you also.
Yeah, with that, for those who missed the introduction, we reflected on the fact that this is a big year for NEOMED. We're celebrating 50 years of the institution, and there'll be many more milestones to come, and there'll be more retirements and more beloved faculty members and deans and administrators who will be moving on and starting a new chapter. And we brought this concept of the last lecture with us to NEOMED as a way to say thank you, as a way to honor that service and that contribution and that impact and legacy, and allow all the people that you have touched over the years to share how they feel about you. So was happy to do this for you tonight, the first of more to come, I'm sure, but you were the first, Dr. Kasmer. So thank you.
Well, Dave, I hope I set the bar for people to follow. We'll see what other folks will do.
There you go. And thank all of you for joining us. As I said, we recorded this event, so we'll be aiming to package this and post it to our YouTube channel and share with all the pharmacy graduates who were unable to be here tonight. But thanks to those who were. With that concludes the event. I will stop recording, but you're welcome to stay on and say a few words, and we'll keep it going as long as you wish. So thank you all.